again, we detailed, especially leading into Ole Miss, Tulane, sort of all of the changes. So we don't need to belabor the point there. But what did you see from Ole Miss that either confirmed or changed your mind in terms of the way that you should break this team down after the changes of Lane Kiffin leaving? You've got Charlie Weiss Jr. came back to coach, a few other assistants, a few other staffers as well, whatever influence Pete Golding was going to have. Did you see anything from the win against Tulane which altered your perspective on trying to break this thing down?
It's a fair question, Chip, but I did not. I just think that matchup was like so much an overwhelming like height, weight, speed type thing to where if they do have changes, they didn't really seem to show them. Like one of the top questions in my mind is, Golding's a defensive guy, and certainly I think he wants to continue to run somewhat of a wide open offense like Ole Miss has run. But we don't know how he's going to manage a game when it gets tight. Kiffin is really good as far as like in-game management, maximizing possessions, understanding like how to use timeouts, like things like that. He's really good at that. We don't know how good at that Golding is because we haven't seen it. We have not seen him be the head coach in a tight game. So like, I don't think they're going to run a whole lot of different stuff. It's just, do they go a little more defensive head coach style where they're a little more conservative? Maybe they tempo down some in a tight game. Maybe there's a bit of a pucker factor there. We don't know, right? As far as, maybe some punting where Lane would try to go and like, we know that probably hurts your chance of winning overall, but it also like it will keep the game closer potentially. So that's something that I will look for in this one if the game is actually close.
And I think he was aggressive early against Tulane. There was a 4th down or his home territory, and but that's a different scenario. Like if it's home time, this is playoffs. You're not the heavy favorite. Every single decision will be amplified. So I do think that's something to keep an eye on. I'm kind of curious to see, Ole Miss came out. They were so strong early in that game through 3 quarters. I would expect Kirby Smart to make some adjustments and take some of that away. Yeah. Kejuan Lacey was not able to run the football in the first matchup. I think they're going to try to do that again, but I don't know if they're going to have much success doing it. Like, I almost feel like Kirby and this Georgia defense are way different and way better than they were the first time around. I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for Ole Miss to put up some points.
Fellas.
Yeah.
What if I told you that the Ole Miss defense turned a corner in the Tulane game? Would you believe me?
No.
Okay, because on the season, Ole Miss has scored 31 points off of turnovers on the entire season. 21 of them came against Tulane. What if the Ole Miss Rebels are suddenly a team that turns you over and turns it into points? They have to be if they're going to win this game. Because I mentioned it on the Lock Spot. Georgia had 8 full possessions in the first meeting. Georgia scored on all 8 of those possessions. And if not for like a offensive pass interference, it probably would have been a touchdown instead of a field goal on one of those possessions. So I just don't have a whole lot of faith that defensively. I think statistically, you look at a lot of the categories that I care about, and of the 8 remaining teams in the field, Ole Miss is the worst in all of them. It's just hasn't been a very good defense all year. I don't know what has changed in the last few weeks or since last week that would make me think that they are capable of stopping Georgia when they could not stop Georgia the first time around. I mean, Tulane was able to move the ball on them last week, but Tulane turned it over or just didn't finish drives. So that's a problem that Ole Miss needs to figure out here. It will be interesting to see. At the same time, Georgia's offense has been very effective. I still don't feel like it's great when I watch it. Like, they score points, they move the ball, but you watch them and you're just kind of like, you wonder if they're just more talented and that's kind of what they're relying on, or if there's actually something kind of special about it. I don't know if that's really going to impact them in this game, because I do think they are the better team and I do think they will score a hell of a lot of points. It's more of a long-term issue I have with Georgia going forward than in this one.
So there's a number that is important to me. The number is 76. Okay. 76. 76 is the number of inches that is 6'4". 6'4" is how tall Colby Young is. And Colby Young was knocked out of the Ole Miss game. And even though he only played 7 games on the season, he is still the team's second leading receiver on the season behind Zachariah Branch. We have seen from Georgia's bowl game preparation that the media was allowed to look at. Colby Young seems to be back, and that feels fairly significant in, I don't know, third down, red zone, deep shots, lots of different angles when it comes to the passing game. Like you talk about like what was in one but not in the other. He had just one catch, I believe, in the game against Ole Miss before getting hurt and getting knocked out. The way that he can provide a boost for a passing attack that already kind of cooked Ole Miss's defense in the first game, that's one that I'm looking at, Tom, which could be important not just for this one, but like you said, spinning it moving forward. Can Colby Young's return be an offensive spark that is able to really start to continue to provide some balance, open up the run game, things of that nature?
Fun stat. If you look at it from reception, Zach Branch has 73 on the year, right?
Right.
Georgia's next 3 receivers, Dylan Bell, Colby Young, and Oscar Delp, have combined for 69. Branch has more receptions than the next 3 guys alone.
So I'm looking at that as a
cover that guy. Is what I'm saying. You're
Kewan Lacey's health, another thing I'm kind of keeping my eyes on in a big way. Just he's
been awesome.
Here's what I stopped myself on. I was about to say he was their best offensive player this season. Is that fair? Trinidad's been good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, he's definitely the one I'm highest on.
Yeah, as we see here on the screen, if you're watching along at youtube.com/cover3, Kewan Lacey with 1,366 yards. That is the second best single season total in Ole Miss history, only behind Quinshon Judkins back in 2022. Danny, what about the big picture stuff for the Dogs? I'm not going to give them the win. I'm not going to advance them just yet. I mean, they are sitting here as a 6.5 or right around a touchdown favorite. You can lose that game 100%. But Tom's question at least brought it up for me. Wow, is this a team that you think can win a national championship?
Yeah, I had them in a small group of teams that could, playing at their best. I think this is sort of if they do handle their business, which I think they will. And I don't know if I haven't really heard anybody say that Georgia can't. I think if they struggle with Ole Miss, you might see some doubters creep in, because I think the majority think they should handle their business. But I think the defense has come along. Gunnar Stockton quietly has been a gamer that has stepped up in the biggest spots. They've been running the football better. They're getting healthy. Absolutely. They've got the pedigree. We've seen Kirby Smart irritated. I'm sure he's tired. He hasn't been in the national championship game in a few years, so he's probably a little agitated by that. Yeah. So, I mean, I think all of it. Yeah, definitely.
But
I'm going to give Kirby a freebie here. I do not believe a word I'm about to say. 3. No, Georgia is not capable of winning a national title. Georgia is a terrible football team. Frankly, they're not talented. Gunnar Stockton is all moxie and no ability, no talent, no brains. He's out there on vibes, and vibes do not win national titles. Defensively, the pass rush is dog doo-doo. It's not good enough to compete at this level. Frankly, if Georgia was in the Big Ten, it probably wouldn't even have made a bowl game, let alone the college football playoff.
And scene.
There you go.
There you go, Kirby. Just what you needed for the video to play on New Year's Eve as you're getting the team together to show them that last little bit of motivation. It's Tom. Is that actually the Brad Underwood, Illinois?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's Tom in a Brad Underwood, Illinois cap.
So good.
So good. Excuse me. Bud, last thoughts here. Places where you think it's like very important to get the matchup right for both of these teams.
Like, does Bobo play the center?
Center, yeah.
Like last 6 quarters for Georgia offensively, I've not been like in love with. Not they're terrible, but they just haven't looked quite the same. I mean, he obviously like is really an important part of that offense. Like Chip said, Colby Young coming back is huge. But I do think that there is enough on defense for Georgia to get enough stops to where the offense will find out a way to score and come out ahead.
I think we are not going to see. I don't know. Okay, I don't have that confirmed. That's not reported, but how about this? if we were sitting around taking bar bets, we say, is Drew Bobo going to play in this game? I would guess, I would bet a drink that the answer might be that it's going to be sticking to the backups and the retooled offensive line, which did a good enough job early against Alabama to help establish that lead. But to your point, Bud, in terms of the last 6 quarters, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we can say that they are anywhere close to where they were at their very peak at the end of the year in terms of the offensive line, but something certainly to monitor moving forward.